I'm much more kind than smart, and I'm doing okay, I suppose. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to do something a little bit different. God, it sounded like I was rapping like Eminem or something then. I saw Alice and Mars do this, so I've decided to copy them and do the free personality test at 16personalities.com. So if you guys want to take this test, feel free. I will leave the link in the description below and you guys can knock yourselves out and go and do that. But I think it gives you like a rundown of your personality, like what percent extrovert you are, what percent introvert you are. I think like your kindness levels, your empathy levels. I don't really know how to explain myself. That's basically the gist of it. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get started. Don't forget to check out Mars and Alice's channels. I will leave their channel links in my description. But here we go. So free personality test, Nearest Type Explorer. Takes less than 12 minutes, it's good to know. Answer honestly, even if you don't like the answer. Try not to leave any neutral answers. So I'm guessing neutral is this little bit in the middle here. So you've got like agree, disagree, neutral. I'm scared to click on one in case it like makes it my answer and then I can't change it. But anyway, I'm a bit nervous. Let's get started. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. Do I hell? So yeah, I am one of those people who finds it kind of hard to introduce themselves to others. It really depends on my mood. Sometimes I can be the most talkative one in the group and I can go on for like what seems like days. Sorry if you can like clear as day see my sunburn. I can see it in the camera here. Here you can see the mark where my shirt was. Oh my god, this is like a bad shirt to wear, but supporting the World Cup here, guys. But yeah, I am definitely one of those people. I'm gonna say if I'm difficult, probably here, because it's not introducing myself that's difficult, it's making the conversation that comes after, like the small talk and stuff. I don't know, I sometimes struggle with that. It really depends on my mood. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. Speaking of like ignoring and forgetting things, this test said it would take less than 12 minutes to complete, but from the way I'm rambling, well, let's see. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. Oh, definitely. I am so guilty of that. So guilty of that. It is so bad. Loads. I can't even tell you how many times in my life I've been called like a dilly-dally and been told that my head's in the clouds and stuff like that. I am a total like my mum likes to say that I've got the attention span of a gnat, meaning that I don't concentrate on anything for more than 5 seconds, and you guys will probably get that from the fact that how long have I had this channel and how many games have I completed. Like, my attention span is so unbelievably short. So many times people will talk and I won't hear them, and they'll be like, why are you ignoring me? And I'll be like, I genuinely didn't hear you. And then they'll be like, you're the only other person in the room. If I'm talking to someone, it's obviously you. And then I'm like, I genuinely didn't hear you though. And now everyone in my family is quite worried about me. But that's that one. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. Well, this one is 50-50 because I always used to not be able to stand a messy inbox and I'd get really bothered about having a messy inbox, and I'd have to go through all of my emails, just delete them all because most of them are just spam from multiple different companies and stuff, and I'm not having any of that. So I'll just go through, delete them all, delete all my spam, delete everything out the trash, and it was quite satisfying. You do not usually initiate conversations. I don't know whether to stay neutral. I'd say neutral. I know it said not to try and do any neutral answers, but I think I'm just going to stay neutral for that because it really just depends what mood I'm in. As like, it's like with the first question with you find it difficult to introduce yourself. A lot of the times I will actually be the one to initiate a conversation, I think, if I can tell the other person is even more shy than I am. You rarely do something just out of sheer curiosity. Well, that is so not true. I am like definitely one of the curiousest. Is that a word? People out there, oh my god, you feel superior to other people. Nah, definitely not. Not one of those people who looks down on people. I'm one of those people that like tries to find the best in everybody. Like, I'm one of those people who tries to see the good in like everyone. I'd never like feel superior to someone, so no, disagree with that. Being organised is more important to you than being adaptable. Disagree, because I am not organised at all. Like, as you guys know from my schedule and stuff on YouTube, you know, I am really bad with keeping schedules, keeping time, doing all that kind of stuff. I am not organised at all. Like, I'll try. Like, I'll write down on my phone what I need to do, and I'll deliberately keep the notes app open so that I can check it, so that I know like what else I need to do for the day. But it just doesn't work, and I don't check my lists, I don't do those things, and I'm not organised at all. So I'd have to disagree. This is weird. You are usually highly motivated and energetic. Disagree. I can get really highly motivated, like I am constantly tired all the time. Like I went to the doctors about it like 2 years ago, and they tested me for like pretty much everything. I thought I had like anemia or an iron deficiency, like a really underactive thyroid or whatever it's called. I had nothing wrong with me other than lazy bastarditis, so I can be highly motivated even though I'm tired, which happens quite a lot. I'm highly motivated to do stuff, says the girl with the YouTube channel that she hardly ever uploads to, but I am barely ever like energetic. Like, if you can tell right now, I'm so monotone and everything. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. I'd say agree. I don't know whether to keep that neutral. I would definitely say I'm one of those people who really hates to hurt other people's feelings. You often feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. I suppose neutral, because I'm one of those people that will pretty much apologise for like everything, even if I haven't done anything. And I think I'm constantly trying to justify myself to other people in terms of like checking that what I did wasn't out of line. Your home and work environments are quite tidy. No. The rest of the house, sure. My house, like my room and the spare room where I do my recording, no. You do not mind being the centre of attention. Oh, disagree. Wait, you do not mind. I do mind, so it'd be disagree, wouldn't it? It depends what the situation is. Like, if it's something that if it's like a personal achievement or something that like should be celebrated really, then I don't mind being the centre of attention. Like, if it's a positive thing, then I don't mind being the centre of attention. But obviously if it's something that's quite negative or I'm in trouble for something, then obviously I don't want to be the centre of attention about that. But usually I tend to hate it. Consider yourself more practical than creative. I disagree. I'm very impractical. Like, everything I do is like spontaneous. Like, I don't really plan anything, or when I do try to plan stuff, it never works out that way. So a lot of stuff is pretty much spontaneous. And I've only just realised that my fan was on, so sorry for that loud racket that you'll have heard throughout the past 10 minutes or so of the video, because I forgot to turn off my little desk fan because it is really hot in here. But it was off. Yes, it wasn't. It'll be off for the rest of the video now. But I'd have to disagree with that. People can rarely upset you. Disagree. Like, lowest of the low. I am a fairly emotional person, I guess you could say. Like, I get so upset so easily. Like, it depends on who is doing the upsetting. Like, if it's a stranger, I'm still one of those people who will like massively take it to heart. And if someone says something mean, I'm one of those people that will go home and think about it for the rest of the day. and like let it affect their day and let it ruin their day. So I'm trying not to do that, but then obviously if it's someone that I love or someone who I know quite well, that wouldn't go down well. I will cry for days. I cry about people who they have problems that's not even anything to do with me. I don't even know them. People I don't even know, I'll cry at. Like, I'll cry so much. So people can really upset you. I'd have to go for the strongest disagree for that. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. As I said earlier, they're not. Usually when I try and plan anything, it just does not go that way and it doesn't work out the way I want it to. It is often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. Strongest disagree. I am the most empathetic person. Like, as I said earlier, if someone cries, I will cry. I'm just one of those people that I just see someone slightly tearing up, so then I'll cry as well. Just way stupid advert. I'm just a way too emotional person. But I'd like to say I'm one of those people who can often relate to other people, empathize with other people. Your mood can change very quickly. Strongest degree. I can go from like 0 to 100 so fast. Like, I will be really happy and then the slightest thing can just set me from like 100 to 0. No, I am so emotional. I'm just like always pregnant. Like, I am like a pregnant woman. I am just so over emotional all the time. I'm just 24/7 pregnant. But yes, the truth should be more important than hurting someone's feelings. But I do think that you should be careful of how you go about hurting someone's feelings. Like, you know, try and say something in the nicest way possible. Like, think of it as like a breakup. Like, you need to be honest with this person and tell them that you don't want to be with them anymore, because otherwise both of you are just wasting your time, and the longer it drags on, then the longer you guys are gonna hurt. I can relate to that so much. I just schooled myself. I was in like a 5-year relationship that just, after probably about the 3rd year, just kind of dragged for another 2, when this person didn't even really love me anymore, but they weren't sure if they did or not, and they just kind of dragged it out for another 2 years, and it resulted in me being like so much more hurt than I would have been if they'd have just been honest with me when they first started losing feelings. You know, it's a horrible thing to do. I would have screamed at them whatever happened, like whether they told me at the beginning or not. But yeah, always better to be honest. You rarely worry about how your actions affect other people. Disagree. No. As I said, I really don't like hurting other people. I've just given the biggest speech about how the truth is more important than hurting other people. But I do think about how my actions affect other people. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than to a methodical and organised approach. Yeah. I hardly ever have a methodical and organised approach, and the only time I do have one is when it's like to do with college work and we've just started a new project and I'm all excited and I'm all motivated and I'm like, oh my god, I've got so many ideas, I'm going to write everything down and plan as I go along, and then that is it. I will not bothered again after that, and it will just be random bursts of energy and I won't do anything that was in my plan. It really depends on what I would be being envious of. Like, I keep using relationships as an example. In the past, I've had like people leave me for someone else, and not even always in a relationship way, just a friendship way. You find someone better and they ditch you, and I will be so envious of that person that they ditched me for. Like, I'll be all, what does that person have that I don't? And then I'll start to overanalyze myself and put myself down, and I'll be like, I'm obviously not good enough. And but I'm not really envious of like materialistic things, really. I don't think I'd ever be envious of something like that. Just friendships and relationships, really, I tend to be jealous of. An interesting book or a video game is often better than a social event. So many of my friends would like disagree with me on this, but I'd say It depends what the social event is. I don't know. I'd disagree. Sometimes it can be. It depends what the social event is. It really depends on what the social event is, to be honest. Like, if it's someone that I don't like, obviously I'm gonna think a video game is much better. But when it comes to my friends and stuff, I really do need to start going out more rather than locking myself in this room making videos, which is where I've been for the past month. So you can't yell at me because I'm being social, guys. You can't yell at me for getting off the internet. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. I disagree. Like, quite a lot of plans that I've done, as I said, are spontaneous. A lot of the things that I do at college and university are spontaneous. And it just makes for like better creativity, to be honest. Like, sometimes it can land you in trouble and it's not ideal to do all of the time, obviously. Developing a plan is best, but sometimes like being more spontaneous is just better and you'll get like better results, and it results in you being more creative. You rarely get carried away by fantasies and ideas. Extremely disagree. I would just always think up this perfect like plan in my head. Like, I won't write it down and proper plan it, but I'll have like a plan in my head of what I want to do, and then I get so carried away by this fantastical idea and it just never ends up that way. Like, a couple years ago I wanted to make like a music video with my friends for a song by Eden. It's called Sex by Eden, and I thought, oh, I was so obsessed with that song, and I was like, do you know what, I've come up with a really good, being vain here, music video. Sorry, I've got music on at the same time as I'm doing this, and it's hard to not focus on the music. This is like one of the questions I got earlier. I get really carried away really easily. It did not go at all the way I wanted it to, just like most of my projects at college don't go the way I wanted it to. You often find yourself lost in thought when you're walking in nature. Yes, that's probably when I most come up with the ideas that I'm talking about right now. Like, when I'm alone and lost in my own thoughts and listening to music is when I tend to come up with quite decent, if it was executed properly and not the way I do it, music videos. Start like overthinking everything, like, why are we here? How did we get here? You know, is it God or is it the Big Bang? Like, all that kind of creative existential crisis stuff is what enters my brain when I'm alone in nature. If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong. Disagree. Like, it depends on how quickly you're on about. Like, I do check quite a lot. Like, I'll go back and I'll refresh. If they don't respond, it's obviously because they're busy, but I'm just excited for a response. If they don't, probably about if they haven't responded within 2 days, I'll be like, I don't worry if I said something wrong, but I'll worry that they're not going to reply at all. And I'll be like, is this the best way to reach this person? Because it doesn't seem like they're going to answer. But I don't ever usually worry that I said something wrong. So I disagree with that. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. Strongest agree. Okay, I'm not sure whether to put that there or there. But definitely, rather than brains, I would much prefer that my kid was kind. Like, not like a walkover and extremely kind like I used to be, like still am now, like complete doormat and just let people walk all over you. But I would rather that they were like kind to people and gave people like, I don't even know where I was going with that. You know, give people hope, be nice to them, be kind, make them feel good. Be an empathetic person, like I said I am. I'm much more kind than smart, and I'm doing okay, I suppose. You do not let other people influence your actions. Oh boy, disagree. Not all the time, but it depends. Like, I've had a lot of experiences in my life where like something that I did wasn't the best thing to do. And I am a total airhead, completely away with the fairies kind of person. And so when I want to do something, if someone tells me not to do it or whatever, it just kind of influenced me a bit, because I'll be like, this person knows best. This person has seen me make a massive fool of myself in the past and I don't want to repeat that. And so they will kind of influence my actions in the fact that I'll start to think maybe they're right, maybe I shouldn't do that because I don't want to get myself into one of those situations again. If they don't think I can do it, they're probably right. And I've always just been a person like that if someone else doesn't think I can do it, instead of trying to prove them wrong, I usually just agree. So that is something that needs changing. So I would say, yeah, disagree. But it really depends on what it is. Some of the time I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. But like, it really just depends. When you sleep, your dreams tend to focus on the real world and its events. Agree? I've had so many dreams in the past month that are to do with like my friends. At the moment, I don't think I really feel like I have many people that I connect really a lot to, like really understands me and I understand them. And I think my brain's just trying to adjust to not having someone like that in my life, because I did have someone like that until about 3 months ago, and they were my like absolute best friend, and now I don't have them anymore. And like they're still in my life, but we barely talk, so it's just like, so it tends to find its way into my dreams if I can talk today. Yeah, but then other times I'll dream about stuff that's going on. So like floods and stuff like that, they'll be in my dreams. Power cuts, stuff that's happening in real life, I'd say that happens quite a lot. It doesn't take you much time to start getting involved in social activities at your new workplace. Neutral or disagree? I suppose disagree. Like, if I did get this job that I'm going for, I would straight away want to be like, want to be my friend, want to be my friend, want to be my friend, you know, and like try and jump into as many social activities as I can. But I suppose that's more of a recent thing, whilst before I would have been the person that kind of sits in the corner and doesn't speak a lot. And it's like, you know what, I'm just going to kind of sit on my own, not bother with anybody, not talk. But I wouldn't be like that anymore. You are more of a natural improviser than a careful planner. I'm neither. I'm not that great at improvising. It's just what I end up doing. Like, I could improvise as a full-time job. Like, everything I do is just improvisation. It's bad because when I did drama in school, I used to hate improv. It was so awkward, and my teacher would make us do, like, drama was my favourite subject. I wanted to be an actress when I was younger. Says the person who's like too socially awkward to even like breathe. But then like they would have to imagine that there was a bench and one person goes and sits on it, and then another person goes and sits on it, and you pretend you're at a bus stop or like on a bench at a park, and you've got to discuss, like, you know, this person sits on a bench, someone else goes and sits on the bench, and they've got to talk to each other and be like, hi, I'm so and so, I do this for a living, and you just kind of like improvise from there. And then you know, more people come in, more people start to enter, and I hated that. I hated the idea of going sitting down and being like, you know, hi, I'm Bob from the science lab. Hey, I'm Mona from the Centre of Forensic Science. Like, I can't do it. But then I'm not a planner either. I'm not a careful planner. So I'm just kind of floating, really. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Yes, definitely. As I said earlier, I don't know. I try. I don't know if it's to do with like being a redhead or whatever, but I will tend to snap quite easily. I don't mean like snap as in go crazy, but snap as in like yell at someone for something. Like, even if it was something slight, if I'm already going through something in my life, I will just like snap a little bit or snap at them. And I'll be like, hey, like I was in the car with someone the other day driving them somewhere, and I think 3 times they led me the wrong way. They were like, actually you needed to go right when I just told you to go left, or actually you needed to go left when I just told you to go right, or you need to do a U-turn, and I'd be like, oh my god, why couldn't you just get it right in the first place? And they did it wrong so many times, and I'm already quite a nervous driver. I'm still like new to it. I don't know why I put that in quotation marks, but oh wait, the song's a bop. You guys can't hear it, but, and I got so mad at them, and I just basically, I yelled, I went, why are you such a dick? And I actually didn't mean for it to come out that way. I actually meant it in a nice way. I meant it in a jokey way, like, oh, you're such a dick, you know. But it actually came out like, oh, why are you such a dick? And they were like, sorry, you know, I'm not doing. And then they started yelling at me, and they were like, I'm not doing it on purpose. What do you think is going on? Of course, I'm not doing it on purpose. It was an accident. Why are you such a bitch? And then like, I was like, I'm sorry. That came out so much nicer in my head. I snap so much. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress up or role play activities? I'd keep that neutral. I don't know, because I don't go to them often. Okay, I agree. I don't go to them often, but I do love Comic-Con and going and dressing up there. Like in the past, I dressed up as Tiger Isuka from Toradora. I loved that because some people kept stopping me and being like, oh my god, Tiger. Best feeling. But then a couple of years ago, I went as the Mad Hatter's daughter, don't ask, OG character that I created myself. I had this dress that I just felt was very Mad Hattery. It was like purple with like hot pink frills underneath. It's much prettier than you're imagining, I promise. And it had a bow, and I had the purple silk hat that looked like a Mad Hatter hat. And I just wore that to Comic-Con. And I met Paul McGann, one of the doctors in Doctor Who. And I met him because my ex at the time was obsessed with him, like obsessed with Doctor Who. And Paul McGann didn't say a thing to my ex, but he looked at me. My ex were just wearing a fez, like that was their costume, because Doctor Who reference. But Paul McGann looked at me and he went, you look amazing. And I was like, thank you, I came up with this costume myself. Didn't say a thing to my ex, and just turned around to him at the end and went, be gone. And just looked at me, and I was like, I'm getting more attention than you. And it was great being noticed by Paul McGann. Especially when I wasn't even that huge of a fan of Doctor Who. I only watched it because I was forced to. I loved David Tennant's series and Christopher Eccleston. Everyone after that, I was like, I only watched them because I was forced to. And then I want to go this year as Ellie from The Last of Us. Got my costume ready from Tilu 2. Got my costume ready and everything. Gonna be good. Gonna be good. You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet intriguing ideas. Yeah, as I said earlier, about I tend to come up with a lot of ideas that aren't realistic, and I'll picture them in my head like a million times better than they actually turns out, because it turns out I don't have the equipment or the skills to do what it was. I wish this would stop turning around. To do what it was that I wanted to do. You would rather improvise than spend time coming up with a detailed plan. It's not that I can't be bothered to make a plan. Well, it is. I don't hate it. I just tend to not do it. So you would rather improvise, yes. You are a relatively reserved and quiet person. It depends. Like if I'm drinking alcohol, no, I'll be the most talkative person in the room. Neutral, I'd say, because recently I'm way more talkative and social, especially now that I've had like new people coming into my life. I'll be talking to them all the time and be really talkative, but then at the same time I'm really quite shy and reserved and don't have a clue what I'm doing in my life. So neutral. If you had a business, you would find it very difficult to fire loyal but underperforming employees. Yes, I would. I would find it so hard. As I said, I hate hurting people's feelings. So I'd find it quite hard to fire somebody, whether they were a good employee or not. I would find it difficult. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence. I mentioned that earlier. Like if I'm alone and your thoughts just kind of get to you, it does happen. I'm like, why? Why are we all here? Why am I here? You know, I mean, I know why I'm here and I'd rather not think about it, but you know what I mean. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. I don't know. Neutral. Because, I don't know, heart is so important. But then being logical about it is really important as well. Like, it depends what the situation is. Like, I've always been one of those people that's like, follow your heart. It really depends what the situation is. Like, if it's dangerous, I'd say logic. But, I really don't know. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. I agree. Again, I said I don't really do to-do lists, so I do keep my options open quite a lot. If your friend is sad about something, you're more likely to offer emotional support than suggest ways to deal with the problem. Agree. Like, I will give advice and I'll try and come up with a solution, but it's not always the best one. I'm usually just the best person who has like a shoulder to cry on. Like, I've been told I'm a very cuddly person and I'm a very huggable person. I love hugs, I love cuddles, I love interaction. So that seems so wrong, but you guys know what I mean. I'm a very cuddly person, so I will usually just be the shoulder to cry on, but I will try and offer advice. You rarely feel insecure. Massively disagree. Constantly insecure. Every second of every day. I'm not even sure I've ever actually been confident in myself, to be honest. Permanently insecure. But I think it was mainly just because of my weight. Like, if I lost it, a lot more secure, I suppose. But yeah, I'm always worrying about, like, am I boring? Am I not good enough for people? Am I not interesting? Like, but it comes back to that question earlier about, am I envious of other people? Like, I'll compare myself to others quite a lot. I'm quite guilty of that. And I'll be like, oh, I wish I was more this. I wish I was more that. And I've never really worked on accepting myself for who I am. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable and sticking to it. Disagree. I've got no trouble coming up with the timetable. I'll do it, I'll write it down, and then just not stick to it. So yeah, I would say you have no difficulties. Yeah, I disagree. I have difficulty with sticking to it. Being right is more important than being cooperative when it comes to teamwork. Disagree. Being right is not everything, guys. Like, in a team, I will be the supportive one. It's like, you do that, you go for that, let's do a team. You know, what team? Wildcats. You know, I will be that person. But I definitely don't think being right is more important than being cooperative. Being right is a bonus, but you shouldn't rub it in people's faces or anything. You know, you think that everyone's views should be respected regardless of whether they are supported by facts or not. Agree. Everyone should have an opinion, whether it's right or wrong. Opinions are never right or wrong, it's what you want. But everybody's views should be respected, you know, whether they are the minority or not, should be respected. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people. Agree, massively. It's like, I'm one of those people who will make plans and then on the day I'll be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why did I plan this? Why did I book this? Why am I doing this? And I'll go out and I'll do it and I'll really enjoy myself and I'll be like, oh my god, I'm so hyped now. I feel way more energetic, way more happy, way more open to going out and doing things. Sometimes I think that I actually am more of a social person than I think, but it's because I don't go out and do social things because I don't have very many people to do it with, because my friends, you know, have jobs and stuff. That I sit in the house and then I start to think that I'm a hermit and that I should sit in the house all the time because that's who I am, kind of thing. But I think I am actually quite a sociable person, but I forced myself to be closed off by not giving myself enough options of going out and doing stuff. Like, there's no clubs near me, my friends are always busy, you know, like, so I end up sitting in the house half the time when I think I would actually rather be outside. You frequently misplace your things. Biggest agree. Ask my family. I'm constantly being called like every name under the sun by friends and family for constantly losing things, misplacing them. It is so bad. You see yourself as very emotionally stable. Disagree. Like, I'm not like a wreck or psychotic or anything, you know. But I'm too emotional. Like, not in a bad way, I'm not like crazy or anything, but I'm just, emotions just waver a lot with me. Like, I don't know. Your mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas and plans. Not always, so I'd say neutral. You would not call yourself a dreamer. Disagree. Like, as in ambitions and stuff, I suppose I'm not that big of a dreamer. I just want like a regular job at the moment. I'm not like, you know, dreaming massively or anything. My biggest dream at the moment is to get 1k subscribers. Help a girl out. But I would definitely call myself a dreamer. I'm always like, you know, as I said, ahead, head in the clouds, Usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. Agree? Like, once I've actually started doing it, it's better. Like with YouTube, I was so awkward at the beginning, and I'm really awkward now. But I'm... Oh, okay. My headphones are doing that thing where, like, you can hear it in that headphone, and then it moves over to that side of your head, and then moves that over here again. That was quite cool. Yeah, but like with YouTube, I've got a little bit better. Like, I'm still very awkward, but I am like 10 times better than I was when I first started YouTube. So it does get easier the more you do it, I suppose. And not with everybody, depends how bad your anxiety or whatever is. But it depends how big the crowd is, and it depends what I'm talking to them about. Like, if it's something I've prepared for, like that is something I prepare for, pitches and being in front of crowds. Like, if I have to do like a big speech, I would definitely prepare for that and not improvise. I will have to have a fucking full-on script and everything, because no, not improvising, that too important. But I will have always prepared to talk in front of loads of people. So it depends what I'm talking about. If it's something I'm quite passionate about and I'm prepared for it. If it's something I don't have a fucking clue. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experience than your imagination. What if I haven't had experience in it? You rely more on your experience than your imagination. Disagree? No, neutral. I don't know. I don't really rely on my imagination, and I don't really rely on my experience. What experience? I'm a hermit. What experience? In what? So no, my imagination is like probably what I rely on the most. So disagree. You worry too much about what other people think. We've been through this. I'm not going to make you sit through it again. I'll just compare myself to others a lot. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls, avoiding the centre. Disagree. I will do that. I'll stick close to the wall, but I'm not afraid to get into the centre of the room either. Like, it doesn't bother me. You have a tendency to procrastinate until there's not enough time to do everything. Preach. Never agreed with something more in my life. Constantly procrastinating. I'll wake up and I'll be like, I'm so full of energy. I'm going to go downstairs, have a shower, do this, get dressed, do that. And then it never works out the way I want it to. And I'll procrastinate. I'll sit on my phone. I'll go on the Love Island app. I don't even watch Love Island. I don't like the show, but the app is really addictive. And then I'll sit on Monster Super League. I'll check my emails. I'll check Casting Call Club and see if I've been cast for any more roles. That is my biggest hobby at the moment. I will check YouTube. I will end up watching 3 YouTube videos. I will end up watching Sims 4 Let's Plays. And procrastinate till there's no time to do anything. Like, I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. It is now 11 o'clock at night, and I'm only just recording this video. I've procrastinated all day. So yes, I do tend to do that quite a lot. I do it with college work as well. Like, leave everything till 3 days before it's due in, and then be like... But sometimes, not leaving everything till the last minute, but sometimes I find leaving stuff till about 2 weeks before it's due in, depending on what the project is. But if it's a big project like a music video, obviously I won't leave it that late. But like an essay or something, I actually tend to find that I work better when the deadline is soon than when I've got plenty of time. You feel very anxious in stressful situations. Yes, I'd agree. I don't think I really need to explain that. You believe that it's more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. Definitely. As I've said earlier, kindness is very important to me. If I had to pick one trait about myself that I liked, it would be how kind I am and how I'm always putting others first. I don't always do it, but I do tend to put my friends and stuff before myself. Someone I hate was near me the other day, and they complained about not having a pen, and I just straight away, pencil case was in front of me, got a pen, here you are. No matter who it is or what it is or whatever, I always like being liked. I love to be liked. I love to be liked, You've always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things, example in books, art or movies. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah? Like, I always tend to like things that are quite obscure. Like, I love Danganronpa, the games, and I don't think many people have really played them. I've never ever come across anybody who's played them. It's always me that's showing them to people. I love obscure films, like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's like a cult classic, I guess you'd say, where like it had an obscure audience but wasn't like a big time film. And then on the same like books as well, I haven't read the Harry Potter books, don't kill me. Not all of them, I've read to like 2 of them, the first one and the last one. My favourite film is the 2003 version of Peter Pan, like the live action, not the Disney version. Don't know anyone else that likes that. And Finding Neverland, the film with Johnny Depp in it, that's about J.M. Barrie, the author of Peter Pan, and how he came up with the idea of Peter Pan. Like the story behind how he came up with Peter Pan. Definitely one of my favourite films. Makes me cry every time. You've always been interested in that. Just done that one. You often take initiative in social situations. It depends on what it is. Like sometimes I'll be quite bossy and I'll be like, hey, no, we're doing this. Depends on what it is. And sometimes I'll be the shy one that sits in the back and it's just like, you guys do whatever you want to do and I'll just sit here, be quiet and not even speak. So it depends. And we're at the end. I'm actually feeling quite sad. I'm at the end. Let's see the results. Campaigner. What is this? ENFBT. Mind. This trait determines how we interact with our environment. Extroverted 56%. What? It's saying I'm more extroverted than introverted? What? Okay. Energy. This trait knows where we direct our mental energy. Intuitive or observant? I don't know. I'd say I'm a lot more observant. Am I even answering these questions correctly? I'd say I'm more observant than intuitive, but... nature. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. Yes, way more feeling than thinking. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. Prospecting, judging. I'd agree with that. Identity. This trait underpins all others. Turbulent or assertive. What? My identity is turbulent? Isn't that kind of sad? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd agree with the more extroverted than introverted. And I think I'm more observant than intuitive. But let's read the big long description because I'm not sure this is even going to sound like me. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. Oh no, it's making me sound like one of those people who've got a thirst for adventure and a thirst for life. Guys, I sit in my house all the time. What? Have I been answering these questions wrong? The campaigner is a true free spirit. They're often the life of the party. But unlike types in the explorer group, campaigners are less interested in the sheer excitement and pleasure of the moment than they are in enjoying the social and emotional connections they make with others. Charming? Independent? No. Energetic? No. And compassionate? The 7% of the population that they comprise can certainly be felt in any crowd. Oh no, more than just sociable people pleasers though. Campaigners, like all their diplomat cousins, are shaped by their intuitive quality, allowing them to read between the lines with curiosity and energy. I do that quite a bit. They tend to see life as a big complex puzzle where everything is connected. You tend to see that puzzle as a series of systematic machinations. What? Campaigners see it through a prism of emotion, compassion and mysticism and are always looking for a deeper meaning. Suppose. Fiercely independent. No. No. This isn't me at all. Many other types are likely to find this quality irresistible. Tell other people that. Campaigners will bring an energy that oftentimes thrusts them into the spotlight. Held up by their peers as a leader. I have been called an oracle or a guru quite a few times, so... Independence loving? No. Self-esteem is dependent on their ability to come up with original solutions. What? Don't lose that little spark of madness. Campaigners know how to relax, and they're perfectly capable of switching from a passionate, driven idealist in the workplace to that imaginative, enthusiastic free spirit on the dance floor, often with a suddenness that can surprise even their closest friends. I've done that quite a few times, I won't lie. Being in the mix also gives them a chance to connect emotionally with others, giving them cherished insight into what motivates their friends and colleagues. They believe that everyone should take the time to recognise and express their feelings, and their empathy and sociability make that a natural conversation topic. I'd agree. A campaigner personality type needs to be careful. If they rely too much on their intuition, assume or anticipate too much about a friend's motivations, they can misread the signals and frustrate plans that a more straightforward approach would have made simple. I definitely agree with that. This kind of social stress is the bugbear. What bugbear? That's such a cute word. That keeps harmony-focused diplomats awake at night. Campaigners are very emotional and sensitive, and when they step on someone's toes, they both feel it. Campaigners spend a lot of time exploring social relationships, more recently than ever, feelings and ideas before they find something that really rings true. But when they finally do find their place in the world, their imagination, empathy, and courage are likely to produce incredible results. Other campaigners you may know: Will Smith, Robin Williams, Drew Barrymore, Robert Downey Jr. and Russell Brand. I wouldn't say, Quentin Tarantino, that's a good one. I'm happy with that. Kelly Clarkson, oh my god, Michael in The Office. Phil Dunphy. Yes! Defo yes! Okay, I'd say I'm on Phil Dunphy's level, to be honest. Paper. Oh my god, this is so cool. Hold on. Peter. Oh my god. So many. Oh my god, I really want to. Okay. Right, what are his strengths and weaknesses? Strengths. Curious. Observant, energetic and enthusiastic? No. Excellent communicators? No. Know how to relax? Boy, do I even know how to do anything else. Very popular and friendly. I'm not very popular, but I am friendly. Weaknesses, poor practical skills. Find it difficult to focus. Overthink things. Get stressed easily. Highly emotional. Oh my god, the weaknesses are me down to a T. Independent to a fault. Okay, that one. No, I am not independent at all. At all, no. And of course I am a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this different video. I don't know, that was a bit of a journey, to be honest. That was a bit of a journey that I was not expecting to take at midnight. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to, I'll leave the link for the quiz down below. Tell me, anyone who takes the quiz, comment down below what you got, because I want to like discuss it, talk to you about it. Let me know what you got in your personality quiz. Check the links in the description for ways to help out the channel, and I'll see you again in the next one, whenever that is, because you know what I'm like.